prices to the moon. The beers them waiting for the crash coming real soon. But the OG consultant watching, he's seen it all before. Over 40 years in the game, he knows the real score. Bull versus bear, a real estate fight. Peter Zalewski tell you who's wrong and who is right. In the Miami Condo investing club with no guess. He cuts through the noise and all of the mess. The Peter Zalewski Show. Big respect, OG in the game. Listen and learn the man's name. And up down. Peter Zalewski Show.
Happy Wednesday, Miami. This is the Peter Zalewski Show. Once a week, I sit down with somebody I think you need to know. Doesn't matter if you were born and raised here, you just moved here, or you're thinking about coming here. I'm going to introduce you to somebody who needs to be on your radar. Why? Because I think they might be able to provide a service that you could actually use going forward. And we're lucky today. We have a veteran in the pre-construction condo game in South Florida area. And what are we going to be talking about today? We're actually talking about office and retail condo. Maybe some of you have your own business. Maybe you're thinking about relocating down here. You don't want to pay some landlord. You figure, let me go ahead. I'll buy something on my own. I'll have equity. I'll build equity. I'll control my own future. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about a project that's located in Hallandale Beach. It's office, it's retail space, but you don't need to hear it from me. Let's hear it directly from the person. Let me go ahead and introduce you to Olga from Fortune International Group. Olga's an in-house salesperson. She's been doing it north of 20 years. Olga Rogers, welcome to the Peter Zalewski Show.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks for having me.
Olga, I know you're busy. You're running around like a crazy person. I got about a 30-minute window, so we're going to go rapid fire. And let me warn you, I've had a lot of caffeine today because I was speaking at 8 a.m. at some event, so I am ready to rock and roll. Hopefully you can keep up with me.
I love your energy. Yes, let's go.
All right. Olga, before we get started sort of on the office and retail condo project, brand new development going on Hallandale Beach Boulevard. Olga, tell me a little bit about yourself. You've been doing in-house development sales for quite some time. You work for a number of different firms. Right now you're at Fortune International Group. Tell us, Olga, how did you get into real estate? Why are you doing real estate? More importantly, pre-construction. That's got to be kind of a hard sale unless you really love the project and you believe in the project. So can you sort of just talk about that?
Of course. Yes, I have been a real estate agent now for 23 years. This is my first time selling a commercial project. I am super excited because I see the need and the demand for this type of project. We have tons of pre-construction projects in North Miami, Aventura, Miami, Brickell, and 19 new pre-construction projects coming to the Fort Lauderdale area. So for me, this was a no-brainer. You know, a lot of these people are coming in here. We have all of the CEOs moving their corporations. So all of these people are going to need office space. So like you said, our pricing, our location, why I love selling real estate? Well, there's no to love. Location, beautiful weather, proximity to, you'll be in Colombia in 2 hours. If you want to come here and work, if you have offices here, you can fly into the Fort Lauderdale airport and be in your office space within the 15, 20 minutes. So it's super convenient. And that's why I love selling real estate here.
Fantastic. So you've been working in the pre-construction game for quite some time. Tell us about some of the residential product you used to sell just sort of previously. Like what areas, what kind of product, and is there a connection ultimately from those people who might be buying residential and now maybe they want to buy commercial type of space because they came down here, they bought a second place, now they said, you know what, let me move my business down here. Let me go ahead and buy an office space, some retail space, and I'll kind of convert and bring everything here rather than having to split up and again, paying a landlord.
Correct. So we have, Peter, what you mentioned, we have a wealth migration. Everyone's moved to South Florida. So with that being said, I was selling the St. Regis Bahia Mar before. Starting price was somewhere in the $3.6 million for the one bedroom St. Regis tower, which was, will be managed by the St. Regis. So, very wealthy people are moving to the South Florida area. And like you said, they're moving their corporations and they're moving their offices. And all of these people that are coming, are going to need office space. So what we created here is something innovative. We added wellness component to office. So we're going to have 18,000 square feet of amenities in the building. You can come work and play, right? So they say that once your life is well balanced, you are more productive. So also creates connectivity with your clients. You can invite your clients to come and play pickleball, paddle. You can sit outside and watch them play. So it's a different concept. On the 6th floor, where we have all the amenities, Peter, we're going to have every office is going to have terraces. Some of them are going to look out east. So it's an incredible building because you get beautiful light all day long. And you also get to see the beach from some of these terraces.
Now, Olga, before we do a deep dive into this particular project, our audience is all over the world. So can you kind of walk people through what's the difference between Miami and Fort Lauderdale and then Hallandale? What kind of role does Hallandale play location-wise? Who tends to be the type of buyer who's going to go there? Because, they might simply be watching it thinking it's Miami, and lo and behold, once you actually get boots on the ground, then you figure out there are some differences, there are some personalities, there are some different dinner times. Olga, my experience is, and I used to live in Hallandale, you got to go to dinner by 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, otherwise it's shutting down. Miami, you're not even going to the restaurant till 10:30, 11. So can you talk about some of the similarities and maybe some of the profiles of the Hallandale area, Fort Lauderdale, as well as a little bit of Miami? Compare and contrast, please, for us.
I will say that your Fort Lauderdale buyer is a more sophisticated buyer, right?
I never said I was sophisticated. I've never, ever said that.
No, but, it's a more, I think it's a lot more family oriented. We have great schools here in Broward. But to mention also the St. Regis, the Shell Bay residences. Have you heard of that project, Peter?
I haven't personally, but I'm like looking at data most of the days. A lot of times they don't let me out. So no, I haven't particularly. That one doesn't come to mind.
This is a new project that's coming here in Hallandale, and is worth mentioning because I think the pricing starts at $4 million, and it's a mandatory Evolve membership of $1.3 million per year.
Sounds like Fisher Island.
Once again, it tells you that the wealth migration that's coming to this area. So you're coming in here when Hallandale is going through changes. All of this Hallandale Beach Boulevard is going to be redone. It will be completed by April 2027. Okay? So in the meantime, while we're here, I'm going to walk you through a little bit from our sales gallery, which we're sitting here right in front of Hallandale Beach Boulevard. Excellent location. As you can see, this behind me is Square 1, right? So we named the building Square. We're going to have 5 different type of offices.
Olga, if I could just stop you there, let me pull up a map so people have an idea, kind of, if we could, just because I don't know what everybody's understanding is. So I'm pulling up a map right here. Just bear with me. Let me give everybody a little bit of a shot. Hold on. You should be able to see it. All right, there we go. We got a map. This is Hallandale, everybody. And let me zoom out. The reason I started here is this is the famous Gulfstream racetrack. Give you guys context. This is going to be Aventura. Then we're going to have Sunny Isles Beach. A little bit to the north, we will have the airport, Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. Then you're going to have Fort Lauderdale. And where is Miami in relation to that? Miami's going to be around here, and then you'll have Miami Beach. You'll have Bell Harbor. You'll have Sunny Isles Beach. So like Olga was sort of mentioning, it's really sort of ideally situated between the two major cities. And let me pull up Hallandale so you guys all get a sense of it. How do I know where Hallandale is? I look for the racetrack. There it is. This is the beach, everybody. Over here, you're going to have a water tower, the famous water tower. You continue to the west, and this is ultimately where Olga's site's going to be. Let me zoom in on it a little bit. There you go. You can get a sense. You got close access to Interstate 95, and you have access to what is the beach, the racetrack, and many of you probably recognize this area. This is called Aventura Mall. So you can see it's not very far located. Olga, how far is your project from Aventura Mall, which is here, and then you're going to be located in and around here?
I can get there within 15, 20 minutes.
15, 20. Yeah, but are you driving that fast because you want to get there, or is that a realistic time? Come on, tell us the truth.
I'm a little bit of a trapaholic, I have to admit. But listen,
okay.
What I do love about that area too is you do know that the Bright Line, also connects the three counties. So if you are coming from Palm Beach and you don't want to drive, you can just take the Bright Line, and the Bright Line station is 8 minutes away from the project. So another plus, right?
And if anybody doesn't know, you, for instance, you could fly in, you could jump on the Bright Line, and if you wanted, you could go up to Orlando. You don't need to rent a car. You take it up to Orlando, you bring it back, do stuff like that. So they're really kind of intertwining everything. And as you guys can see from the map, it is centrally located. So if you want to catch a flight, you go to Fort Lauderdale to the north, you go to Miami International to the south.
Correct. We also have the Aventura Hospital nearby, ever growing, because of course, the need for more space. We also have the Aventura Mall, like you mentioned. We have many points of interest, but my favorite thing about this is that I do live in Fort Lauderdale. I take I-95, I get off, and within 3 minutes, I'm at the project. And then when I drive 5 minutes away, I will be right at the beach. Okay, so the location of this building is perfect, and of course, our price is unbeatable.
So Olga, before we get into price, I just pulled up the video. Everybody can see it. Tell us, what am I looking at? It looks like about an 8-story building or so. Can you kind of walk us through the big picture macro, and then we can kind of drill down into the more specific details?
So absolutely. Our amenity deck right here, that the picture that you're looking at, is what separates us from everything else that's coming up.